Hello, Marilyse. Thank you very much for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you on. How have
Thank you.
things been for you at the minute? I imagine it's going to be very crazy for you, like social media and everything, after the response of Married at First Sight.
Yeah, I didn't realize how crazy it was going to be. I had no idea. I just thought it would be, I'd go back to like my normal job of like working and everything would be quiet, and it's not.
Have Have you ever had one of them encounters where you've been recognised in public yet?
Yeah, a few times. I was in London the other day and I was crossing over the road, and this worker like next to me was crossing as well. And he turned and he looked at me and he went, "How are you getting on with Frankie?" And then we both just started laughing. It was funny. But yeah, a
How is
few
it for How is it for you when people are like that with you? Is it strange or
weird. Yeah, totally weird. Like it feels so strange, but it's funny. I do laugh. I think it's good.
it's a great show? But today
Yeah.
I'd like to take you back to the start when you first decided you were going to go on.
Hmm.
What were the deciding factors for you to do the? Because it is a risk marrying a stranger. What?
Yeah. No, it is a risk, and I had cold feet for like literally weeks beforehand because I was fast tracked into the process. So when I actually applied, I think we had about 4 weeks until the filming started. So for 4 weeks, my anxiety was up and down,
Yeah,
and I must have rang the team to say, I can't do it at least 5 times. And then I went ahead with it because in my head I just thought, what, I could meet like the man of my dreams.
yeah,
It's it's something that you can't really not take the chance if you've got offered it, if you know what I mean.
yeah. How did it come about for you? The application. Had you been a fan of the show before, or did you
What
see an
happened was
advertisement?
I've got a friend who told me to start watching it in lockdown, the Australian version.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was yeah.
and then I watched it, and I must have watched the whole like 41 episodes in one week. Like literally, I was up all night watching it, and I got hooked. And then when I saw it advertised as the UK version, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'll apply. I didn't think I'd get through, but yeah, I'm pretty surprised, but happy I did.
How did your closest family and friends take to the news that you were going on?
Um, they know what I'm like. I am quite spontaneous, so they weren't totally surprised when I told them. But I think they thought I'd pull out for sure. So they went through all like the motions with me of like my anxiety because I was there saying to them 1 minute I'm doing it and then next I'm not. So
Yeah,
yeah, it was pretty crazy for them as well.
it must have been. I can relate to that because I imagine it's very nervous for you when you just don't know who you're gonna meet when you get there.
Yeah, that was like the most strangest thing about it is because obviously you don't know what he's going to be like. You don't know whether he's going to like you. You don't know whether you're going to like him. So it's a lot to consider, and it's very nerve wracking.
When Bob came on, he told me all about the process, how long filming was, when it was filmed. But I'd like to take you back to your wedding day. What were your first thoughts when you seen Frankie walk down? When you walked down and seen Frankie?
So when I first saw Frankie, I thought, oh, he's older than what I expected because I think I said my age range would be like my age to early 40s, and Frankie's 47. So I was like, oh, he's a bit older, but I thought that's probably a good thing. I might need that. And I thought he looked lovely, like he was really, really smart, and his suit was amazing, and he had the most like warmest kind of smile. So I was kind of drawn into his smile and how protective he seemed when he saw me. It was really nice feeling.
Did you feel after like on the wedding day, like a few hours after you knew Frankie, did you realise you had a lot in common or
Yeah, well, the first thing that we worked out was we're both into fitness massively. And secondly, we were both born in Pontefract. So that's
yeah.
quite rare. Like, I've never met anyone that was from Pontefract before. So I was like, wow, we've got so much in common. And then we got to know each other during the honeymoon. And from then onwards, I did see why they put us together. I really did. And I still see it now. I see why they matched us. We are quite similar.
How did you find the honeymoon? Because didn't you was it you went to the lakes, was it?
Yeah, we went to Lake
Yeah,
District. I was really happy with that because
yeah,
I've never been before. We had a week of sunshine, and I think it was like April. We got so nicely, you know, in this really nice boutique hotel. We got a convertible to cruise about in, and I didn't know where anyone else was going on their honeymoon. So for me, I was happy.
Oh, did you not know where anyone else was going with?
Well, I think the girls had discussed it at the hen do, but I don't think I remember. Like, I didn't. Do you know? I don't mind where we went. It was absolutely fine.
Was there any parts that didn't get shown, like activities you've done or anything?
There was loads of parts during the filming that you wish were shown. Do you know, there's funny things that you do, and you'd be like, oh, I can't wait to watch that back, and then it didn't get shown because obviously it wasn't dramatic. So but nothing, no more activities. I think Frankie and I did quite a lot of activities, to be honest.
Because I think with a show like that, they do pick out the most dramatic parts.
I know, and they miss out all like the bits that you actually think's good.
Because Bob said he had the helicopter ride, which he loved, but that never got shown.
Yeah, it's such a shame. Well, actually, when Frankie did his press-ups on his paddleboard, I went and pushed out 30 press-ups, and they didn't show that. I was gutted.
Oh, but did it just show him again? Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what about my press-ups?
I guess there's a lot to fit in, but talking of high points and that, what would you say are the highest points of your whole experience on Married at First Sight?
Okay, I've probably got 2 or 3. Like, my highest point was definitely the day we got married. The whole location, all the effort that everybody went to make it look beautiful, our friends and family being part of it, seeing Frankie obviously for the first time because he was part of the journey with me. Just the whole wedding day, the way they made me look, you know, they spent ages like doing me up, and I just absolutely loved it. You know, I've never been married before, so it was actually like getting married for real. It was good. And then secondly, like the friends that I've made from the show, like I've got friends for life from the cast members, and I love all of them, so I'm really happy about that.
That was going to be another thing I was going to ask. I imagine most of the cast members you'll be keeping in contact with, but is there any in particular you think you've made a friend for life?
Yeah, Amy, out the girls, definitely. I love her, and I keep in touch with her a lot. And I love Moo. I love them all, Megan, Alexis, but Amy is the one I speak to definitely the most. And also I love Luke and Bob and Matt and Daniel. So like they're the closest boys. I'm quite close with the boys. Yeah, they're a nice bunch of people.
Do you all keep in contact via like a WhatsApp group or something?
Yeah, we have like a joint WhatsApp group, so we're all like commenting whenever we're on TV. We're like, oh my gosh, look what you've just done. I can't believe you said that. So yeah, it's quite funny.
Because you don't know what, because I imagine you don't know what the other couples got up to when you.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing. It's so nice to watch all their journeys as well, but it's also quite stressful as well because you're seeing them go through, you know, upset or stress during the filming that you didn't realize that they were. So when you're watching it back, you know, I mean, I am going to watch the whole series afterwards, you know, like binge watch it, just so I can watch it from a different point of view instead of feeling like I'm in it, if you know what I mean.
How much have you actually watched of it so far?
I've watched it all so far. I'm up to date. Yeah. I haven't missed an episode.
Because I imagine you'll be focusing on like what it's shown of you and how you and Frankie have come across and that. But are you gonna like go and look back and like pay attention in a different way to see?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. I think I need to watch it all back again so I can watch it from more of a viewer's point of view and not be so critical about myself, just, you know, because I've already seen it, so I know what to expect. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. It could be my winter guilty pleasure.
Certainly a lot of TV to watch then. Is there any particular low points for you when you look back at the process?
Do you know what? I know it sounds really bad, but I did not like the commitment ceremonies. They were so awkward when we were sat there in front of the experts, and they were just so awkward. So for me, they were probably like the worst parts. And as soon as we'd done the third one and we weren't doing any more, I was like, thank God for that. So it was quite cringe. Another
big part of the show is the dinner parties. I won't speak about them for a bit now. you and Frankie, apart from like a little blip where he told you not to speak, you weren't really involved in the massive
No.
controversial kickoffs. But what did you ever feel really awkward being there when people were arguing like the
Do you know
worst?
what? The very first dinner party, obviously when Nikita kicked off, I was
Yeah.
like, I remember looking across the table at Luke, and I'd only just met Luke that day anyway, and I was like, what is this? Like, what have we like signed up to? And he was like, I know, I feel the same. So yeah, that was definitely the worst one. But then after that, you kind of got used to the drama. So each dinner party that happened, you'd be more and more used to it.
Because that first one when Nikita kicked off at Jordan, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a tense one.
Yeah, it was. But they always placed Frankie and I at the end of the table. So I kind of knew that they'd put the least dramatic people at the end, and then the most dramatic people were kind of put in the middle. So I was like, oh, I'm quite happy that I'm sat on the end here.
Was there any other ones that you found really tense? Because I know there was one where it was, I'm trying to think which one it was now, but it was the one where had a when he stood
Yeah.
up and told. It was the
I
same
think
when
that
you and
was the
Frankie had a bit of
one. Yeah, that was the third one. So that was the one
Yeah.
when Frankie told me not to talk as well. So
Yeah.
that dinner party was just, that was just, everybody was arguing on that one. Like watching it back, I was like looking around the table thinking, God, there's actually every single person having an argument on this table.
It was a big thing as well, I think, between Josh, Amy, Luke, and Morag. I think when Morag told Amy about
The
him
DMs.
DMing her, yeah.
Yeah. And Amy was like obviously sticking up for Josh, and
Yeah.
then Morag was standing her ground saying, you did message me, and then Josh was like, I can't remember, and then I think Ant joined in with Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were certainly entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
From the
Oh yeah,
viewer's
what you see on
perspective.
TV, like it was like that. Like seriously, it was that dramatic.
A few of the other cast members have done interviews in various places, and they've said it was carnage sometimes behind cameras. Is that true?
Behind cameras, I think I must have just kept myself to myself because I didn't really see a lot that happened behind cameras. I got on with everybody there. So I think people still had their ups and downs, and even in their couples behind cameras. But yeah, it wasn't too bad, to be honest. And we did also have a really good time behind cameras. So like in the apartments, we'd kind of sneak into each other's apartments and have a few drinks, and then we'd get told off. So yeah, we did have a good time as well.
How long were the days of filming the dinner parties?
Oh gosh, from I'd say 8 o'clock in the morning. You'd probably get up about 7, start getting ready, be filming at about 8 in your apartment. Like you're getting done up for an evening like dinner party, and then you'd have to travel to the barn, which was an hour and a half away from Brighton. So you sat in the taxi like for an hour and a half, like falling asleep. And then you get there, and then you all get separated from all the other couples, so you can't mingle on like off screen. And then it literally went on all day. Like we'd get back to Brighton at like 2 a.m. sometimes. So it was so full on. It was like hours and hours.
Did you ever have like, because that is a long day, but because of that, did they ever let you have days off where they just said, go and do whatever you want?
Yeah, we did have a couple of days off a week. Yeah, where there was like no filming today. You couldn't do whatever you wanted because you weren't allowed to go very far.
In Brighton, yeah,
because of COVID and everything. So yeah, we didn't go very far, but we did get days off, and on those days off, you literally did nothing, just chilled.
So were they like the more relaxed days?
Yeah, but it was like you like some days were so intense, and the next day you'd be like so down and like tired. So it was like that constantly.
How big was the gap between filming a dinner party and filming a commitment ceremony?
You know what? I think once there was one back to back. So there was a dinner party, and then there was a commitment ceremony the next day. So we were just like, what? Can't we just have a day off in between?
Because on the TV, you always see them back to back.
Yeah, I know. I know. It is full on. It is full on, even watching it.
Obviously, on Wednesday night, we seen you and Frankie renew vows, and you've decided to stay together.
Yeah.
How was that decision for you, and what were the deciding factors?
So Frankie and our relationship was a good one, and we did have so much fun. You know, like I know they've shown the worst parts of Frankie, but that was literally the worst of him. The rest of the time, he was great. So yeah, they did focus on that. So it was, you know, I had to think about it long and hard because I have got kids, and obviously he was giving up a lot coming from Dubai to stay in the UK. So I had to consider whether I thought it was going to work long term or not. And yeah, so it wasn't an easy decision to make, but at the same time, we did get on really well. So I did like him.
Because I know you felt a lot of pressure because, like you say, moving back from Dubai, if it never worked, would you felt a bit guilty if?
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, it wasn't like I was placed with somebody who lived in Manchester who I could go and visit. It was like a big commitment. Like you're actually leaving a country where you've spent 16 years to kind of follow the show and stay with me. I just thought I thought it was a lot.
And it's like the other side of the world as well.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Did you know the outcomes of the other couples at that point?
So we still got the reunion show yet. So we don't know who actually stays together to the reunion show. But during the time, we knew who got on and who didn't. You know, we kind of in our heads we could predict who was going to stay together.
Have you learned anything from your experience?
Massively, absolutely. I've learned so much, to be honest. I've learned that I've got loads of patience, and I've learned to try and get to know people, you know, spend that time getting to know them. And because it was such an intense experiment, I managed to do it fine, and I was quite surprised with how well we got through it. So yeah, I have learned a lot from it, and all good things as well. Nothing bad.
Because I think on them type of shows, like the dating marriage shows, I think people tend to do learn a lot from what I've heard.
Yeah, just patience is massive. Like you have to have a lot of patience to do something like that. Because you put with somebody that you don't know at all, and you're living with that person. So it is really intense, and you're getting to know their personality and their habits and their good points and their not so good points. So it is a lot to take in. So to continue, you have to be patient with them.
Yeah. And you mentioned the reunion show on Monday. I know you won't be able to give much away, but any small teasers? Is there much drama or?
Yeah, okay, so there is drama. Probably unexpected drama, actually. Yeah. That's all I can say.
Are you allowed to say how long after how recently it was filmed, or?
About 6 weeks, I think.
Yeah. So it gave it time between the process finishing and.
Yeah, and then going into the real world. Yeah.
Because because it wouldn't have made much if it was just like a couple of days, but.
No. Oh no, definitely not. It was definitely a few weeks. Yeah.
Finally, Marilyse, it's been a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Have you got any plans now that filming is finished or anything?
No, I'm just going to enjoy my life and just back home to what I love doing, and my kids and my dogs, and just be happy. That's it.
Yeah, thank you, Marilyse. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. Bye.